All right, welcome everyone. Welcome back to Tradeify's crypto live stream here. It is Monday today. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We do have some interesting developments over the weekend in the market, so there's a lot to talk about today. Even though we have bank holiday in the UK, I believe, and we also have is it Memorial Day? That it's that today? Is that today? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's today. So we're gonna have the two of the biggest markets in the world is closed today, which obviously means that it's gonna be a little bit slower trading, most likely, less volume and liquidity. How are you, Ayush? You had a good weekend?
Yeah, had a really great weekend and working on some stuff, but overall, looking at the market, feels like mostly it's going to be an educational stream today. And also we have Boris breaking down a
That's
lot
right.
of
We're
stuff.
also launching our Macro Mondays today with Boris. So you guys know that we're doing 3 hours of live streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we're doing an hour on Fridays within the Discord as well. And in the second hour today, we're going to have Macro Mondays with Boris. So Boris is going to come on. He's going to talk about some of the news that is moving the markets right now, and also what to look forward to in terms of news events and macro throughout the week. So that's going to be really exciting. And then tomorrow we have Technical Tuesdays with Ayush, and then on Wednesday we're gonna have myself do a session as well, looking at how I'm trading, my market, my trading strategy, my philosophy in trading, and hopefully teach you a thing or two on how to trade crypto on these evaluation accounts that we have, and how to hopefully propel you into the getting a funded account and start making some real money. All right, Ayush, what are you? Are we trading anything today? Are you trading anything today?
No, but I'm actually looking for longs on Bitcoin. If we close about that this area, and also we got really good reaction from this support zone, and took the previous month low on Ethereum. So as we always, as you guys know, that I don't really like to trade weaker pairs. I'm not looking at anything on Ethereum or for longs, but yeah, Bitcoin looks really good for longs. And also we discuss some ideas. Let me load. Okay, on Zcash on Sunday stream, and it went really well. Let me show you guys. So in the stream, we were talking about these levels, and many people asked outside which pair is really good for lower time frame scalping on crypto. I said Zcash is the best one. Have really good volume. Because of holiday today, I think Zcash is also really slow, but had a great setup from this support zone at 648. I think we closed the stream near 9:30. So yeah, it was a really good trade we discussed, and I hope you guys have learned a lot of stuff. It's just wicks of higher time frame and using them on lower time frame to see reaction and executing after the confirmation. And let's take a look at PAXG. We are reacting very well from this resistance area, and also we have support. So for me, PAXG on higher time frame is in an area where I need breakout on one side, either break below and indicate that the support is going to get invalidated and move lower, and take Bitcoin, I'm not Bitcoin, but PAXG go lower to 4154, which I'm not really expecting to happen. But also for bull scenario, I want price to close above the monthly open, and we have new monthly candle in 6 days, so it's gonna be a good it will give us a good idea that either we are going long or short above monthly open, long below monthly open, most probably going lower. But there are other confluences we use as well. So yeah, that's my entire view on Ethereum, Zcash, and PAXG. What you are looking at, Jonathan?
So I am still I'm still short on Bitcoin. I mean, like you guys know, I'm the type of trader that I'm a trend following long-term swing traders. So I try to identify the primary trend, and this is something I'm going to be talking a lot about on Wednesday as well, because you guys hear me talk a lot about the primary trends and the secondary trends and the intermediate trends, and those three different types of trends, and then put into the framework of the Dow theory. And I want to talk a little bit about that, and also the crypto version of Dow theory, because okay, I'm not going to go into detail on that. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. But the primary trend for me is bearish. I believe we're in a bear market for crypto. We're in a bearish regime for crypto. And if we look at the weekly, I think this retest that we had right here, we had a retest of like right below the 0.618 of the latest down move. We have a weekly bearish engulfing candle closed below the weekly 20 EMA. This to me is a very clear bear market, very clear bearish regime and a downtrend for Bitcoin. And the current price action is not really very convincing to me. Now, I do want to also, let me just go in and check the this quickly here. We have, of course, we also have the Iran deal optimism is definitely creating a risk on sentiment across the markets, right? So this weekend, Trump went out on through social talking about, I haven't seen the exact post, but he talked about how the US-Iran peace deal is moving forward. But let me remind you that it happens every other weekend. In the beginning, it happened multiple times every week, multiple times, a day sometimes. And now it's kind of like every weekend or every other weekend where they say like, okay, the Strait of Hormuz is opening 2 days later. Oh, never mind, it's closing again. Iran says, we like this deal. And then they say, we don't like this deal anymore 2 days later. And the market kind of whipsaw, right? Because it just goes up and down. Now, one very good example of that is Brent. You can look at oil here. This is Brent crude oil. And you can see here that first we had Trump pausing the attacks, oil went down, but then the attacks happened again and oil went up. Then we had Hormuz being opened, a declaration of Hormuz being opened. Oil broke down support. And then you might wonder, why am I showing you a chart of oil? This is crypto, right? But crypto trades within the global markets, right? And it's all moving with the same supply and demand dynamics and the macro forces. And then again, you have Trump confirms the extended blockade, or whatever that word is. So oil shoots straight up again. We also had the UAE exiting OPEC. And then we have, again, now the Trump weekend post with that massive gap to the downside. So we've been in this situation before. Okay, so in my mind, this tells me nothing. But what I do in this situation is like the macro environment is very unclear. What's not very unclear, though, is the current risk sentiment. Now, if you look at the US stock market, they're absolutely going crazy. You could look at the NASDAQ, gapped up into new all-time highs. S&P 500 gapped up into new all-time highs. We got the Dow Jones gapped up into new all-time highs. We have I believe this is the Russell 3000 almost at all-time highs. The Russell 2000 peaked up into all-time highs on this gap up today as well. So the stock market is absolutely loving this, which tells us, a lot about the current situation, the risk situation. But then we look at the Bitcoin again, and it's like it's been doing for the last 6 months or so. It's lagging behind, right? And I think it's lagging behind for a very good reason. And that reason is, and I'm going to show you something shortly. Give me 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so here it is. Now, the fact that, this is from Macro Minutes from May the 22nd, and I'm just reading this. I know you're watching Trading View, but I'm just reading this. So we have On May the 22nd, the S&P 400 had gained 8.2% since the beginning of the US-Iran war. Okay, now it's probably up like 9% at the time of reading this. But if you look at the equal weighted version, it's basically unchanged. We have 10 AI tech stocks account for all the index gain, led by Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, which is Google, and Broadcom. So we could say that 90 to 95% of this whole rally in equities is being driven by the biggest names within the S&P 500, the top 10, which is all driven by AI, okay? So it's like Bitcoin doesn't have that. Bitcoin does not have the AI narrative, right? And that's why Bitcoin is in a bear market, because I do believe that, and again, I'm not an expert at macro analysis. I trust my algorithms that is, doing the analysis for me on the news. And right now there's two big views. View number one is that liquidity is declining and has been declining for quite some time. And that's the reason for Bitcoin. That's one of the reasons for Bitcoin to behave the way it's doing. It's following global liquidity, and when global liquidity goes down, Bitcoin goes down. And then there's the other view that says that even though liquidity is going down, it's the momentum to the downside has slowed significantly and is now turning back up and might continue higher. And that's one of the reasons why the stock market is rallying so greatly. That's also the reason why Bitcoin went from 65k up to around 80, 82, 83k. And if scenario number two is right, then Bitcoin should be trading higher. If scenario number one, which I'm aligned with, the fact that global liquidity is declining, even though the rate of decline is slowing, I still think that that's a force driving Bitcoin lower. And that's where I am. Therefore, I am still short Bitcoin. And current price action is just telling me that we're getting a move that we're just expecting to get. We even if I'm short on Bitcoin, I don't expect Bitcoin to go in a straight line, right, like this. I assume that Bitcoin will move down and then up a little bit and then down and then up a little bit and then down a little bit, or a lot, right? That's what I'm watching for Bitcoin. So the primary trend is bearish, so I'm short. And looking at gold, I have a long open on gold. This is from last week. If you guys remember, we had Brett on. This was on Wednesday, I believe. Maybe Thursday. Can't remember. But we entered a trade here on gold. That was on the 20th. Yes, that was last Wednesday. Had a buy stop order on that one. And this is looking good. There's going to be about 2R on that one. And if this one hits TP, it's going to be a 2R winner. If Bitcoin hits stop loss, it's going to be a -1R loser. So whatever happens here, I think I'm going to come out as a net winner in this situation. So that's my overall view on Bitcoin as it stands right now.
We have Drew Prajapati. Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Oh, we have a viewer asking, hello, I want to start crypto trading, like how to learn trading as beginner, any course or any resources.
So we are building out the library of content here within the YouTube channel. So I would highly recommend that you check out the course that Ayush is working on right now. And then also very important to come back to this live stream and ask as many questions as possible, just like you're doing right now. The technical Tuesday session, that's something that's going to be running every single at the same time every Tuesday. Ayush is going to have a technical Tuesday session. That's a great way to learn how he's trading. And then on Wednesday, I am doing my session. The first hour on Wednesdays, I'm doing my session. And then if you want to learn the overall macro conditions, you look at the session with Boris. That's going to be today in about 45 minutes. So those 3 sessions, and then we're going to be incorporating a session with Anastasiia also, how she incorporates volume in her trading. So all of those sessions that we have here within the session is going to be really, really good educational content. And the best thing is it's live, right? So you can tune in and ask your questions live. But to answer your question on what we have right now, I think if you're completely new to trading, you're probably not completely new to trading, but if you are completely new to trading, I would recommend Baby Pips. They have probably the best beginner course on trading. You will learn, what futures, options, forex, crypto, all of that, what that is, and you learn the what trading actually is, and simple stuff like horizontals and trend lines and all of that. That's super good to get a foundation in trading. And I'm not really going to give you any specific sources or courses, but what I would say is that focus on first understanding the higher timeframes is my recommendations, and not go into lower timeframes first, but to stay at the higher timeframes, like the daily. Understand what markets does on a daily basis and try to figure out the daily trends and focus on market structure, price action, and 2 specific concepts that revolve around a break of structure and the break and retest. So let me give you some examples of that. When I say focus on market structure, basically what I mean is you should understand the difference between a trending market and a ranging market. Okay, so we have, for example, a downtrend. This is very simple, right? Something like this, a downtrend, understand the lower lows and lower highs. And then the uptrend, understand what does it really mean to have higher highs and high lows, and then a ranging structure with equal highs and equal lows. This is simple stuff. You probably already know about this. But what I would focus on, and this is quite important within crypto, because a lot of times what you're going to see within the crypto space is you'll have altcoins that have been trending to the downside for a very long time. But then all of a sudden, you're going to see changes in its market structure. So it might be that you have a market that kind of moves like this for a very long time, and then it's going to flat out, create a base, like an accumulation base. And when you start to see signs of first accumulation, which could be on the way to the downside, you might have decreasing volume, right? Volume is decreasing. Let's assume we have the volume bars here. So volume is decreasing, which means there's less interest in the move down. And then once price starts consolidating down here, you see an increase in volume, right? You see an increase in volume, which means market participants are now more interested in this altcoin within this consolidation phase. And when you see this at the same time as having like major volume spikes, you know that the overall market participation or market participants like this altcoin within consolidation, and the volume spikes are most likely whale buyers buying this altcoin. So you now know that you have an altcoin with accumulation. And then when you have a break of the highs like this, the break of structure and the break and retest, that's going to be a potential beginning of a trending move. And that trending move might last for days, weeks, or even months. And in the altcoin market, you can have insane risk to reward. Like you can see an altcoin going up, 500-600% in just a few weeks. And it's all about timing. So right now we are in the bear market, right? Which means most altcoins are going to look like shit. I'm going to show you a chart or show you some of the altcoins we'll be watching, right? We can look at Phil, for example. This is FIL. This is Filecoin, I believe. You can put some volume on here. And we can see that just like I said here, you have a declining market. Volume is quite thin here, right? But then you actually have quite the increase in volume right here with the couple of volume spikes. I would ignore that volume spike because that's just huge volume with the huge price move that gets sold immediately. But this one I quite like, right? It's a massive volume spike right here, but price is not going absolutely crazy. But what we have right here is actually a sort of a break and retest, sort of. You have that ranging structure. You have somewhat higher volume than what you have in the downtrend. A couple of volume spikes, and then if price can continue higher here, this might be one of those scenarios where it could potentially get in on a break and retest. And if this is one of those altcoins that are going to break its structure on the higher time frames, and maybe it's going to come up and test this area right here, you'll have a 200% move to the upside. And we're talking about a 12-hour trade. And this is how I would trade altcoins in the crypto market long term, right? As a swing trader. Now, to really make the thing is, like, you might want to do fundamental analysis on this as well, but the thing is, a lot of times it doesn't really matter, because some altcoins have the worst fundamentals. Some altcoins doesn't even have a project. It's a dead project, but it's still trading on an exchange. And yeah. So that's just a quick crash course on how I would trade altcoins right now. And like you know, if you watch this live stream, that's also how I currently trade some of the altcoins. How's it going?
I think he asked a lot of questions.
Okay, I'm gonna go through them. Let's see if we have any good ones.
Cyberpunk, do you okay, we do have different Discord for Tradeify crypto. Great one. You can join and maybe you can post a link in the chat.
Okay, let's see. We have some questions here. Let's see. Gerard, Louis, you won an account as well in a giveaway, so congratulations to that. Hopefully you've started trading that evaluation. Right, so when doing a challenge, is risking 0.5% is too much for evaluation? Okay, guys, so there's only... Okay, so let's first of all differentiate between trading a personal account and trading an evaluation account. If you're trading a personal account, then you have to trade well. You have to trade like a proper professional trader long term, okay? Because if you're trading a personal account, you can't lose it, and you can't lose a lot, and you want to be profitable for 10 years, right? So trading your personal account and trading prop firms is two different things. Arguably, trading your personal account and be profitable 10 years, that's probably one of the most difficult things you will ever try to master. Trading prop firms is different because you can buy an evaluation and then you can blow the account and you're only risking whatever you bought the evaluation for. You can buy multiple accounts. You can blow 9 out of 10 accounts, but then you'll make a lot of money on the 10th account that will make up for losses. Now, so trading prop firms is very, very different. But with that said, let's take a look at your question about the risk. If you should risk 0.5% or not, I can't answer because I don't know your max drawdown of your system. Simple as that. To be able to risk calculate on a long-term expectancy basis, you need to know the drawdown of your system, your max drawdown of your system. If you don't know that, which you probably don't, then you're just guessing. And that's all right when you're trading evaluations. If you're trading your personal account, that's just not being serious about trading. You're just not being professional, right? But with an evaluation, you can simply say, I'm gonna try with 0.5% per trade and see if I have a winning streak or not. If you have a winning streak, great, you'll get funded. If the winning streak continues, you'll make some money. But if you begin trading when your system is in a drawdown, which you do not know because you don't have the statistics probably, then you will lose that account. And if the system continues to be in a drawdown, you will lose the other account as well until the system gets out of the drawdown period. There's only one way to know your system, and that is through backtesting. Now, there's this idea out there. It's a fairly new idea. I see it on social media all the time. I see it on Twitter. People saying that backtesting is useless. I even saw a prop firm CEO posted a short on Twitter this morning or yesterday maybe, saying that backtesting is bullshit. Like backtesting is not bad, not good because this and this and that. Like that dude is not a professional trader, because if he were a professional trader, he would know that without backtesting, there's no trading. Now, again, in the world of prop firms or funding firms and evaluation, it's slightly different. But to know your max drawdown, you have to backtest. To know exactly what you should risk in a system, you need to know your max drawdown. So before asking questions about risk, go backtest 200 trades. Okay, guys, go back in history, trade your system, look at the statistics of your 200 trades going back in time, look at your max drawdown of your system, and then calculate how much you can risk per trade if you're going to get a max drawdown like you have in backtesting without losing your account. So if your max drawdown is 10% and your max loss on an account is 5%, you have to risk 0.5% per trade, because obviously 0.5 times 10 equals 5, right? So that's going to be 5%. And now then, of course, you lower it a little bit more. And here's the holy grail, right? If you know your max drawdown and you limit your risk per trade and you follow the system perfectly, you will never lose an account. Simple mathematics, right? If you follow the system perfectly and it never goes into it, and it never hits your max drawdown, you will never lose the account. That's just how it is, right? Now, of course, we know that markets doesn't work like that. Like, markets are not very predictable and they can change all the time. So therefore, I do recommend that if you have a 10% drawdown, max drawdown, you double that and you assume you have 20% max drawdown. And that's it. And again, like going through your questions here, saying my plan is to risk 0.5% per trade. Then when losing 3 times in a row, will decrease it to 0.25%. Again, sorry, I'm sort of hitting the mic. Sorry if that caused any sound disturbances. But again, your plan to decrease risk to 0.25% after 3 losers, that just means that it's going to be more difficult to get back from that drawdown. I would never decrease risk in a drawdown. I would never decrease risk in a drawdown unless I see that the drawdown is going to become bigger than what the historical average is. If you decrease risk in a drawdown, it also means that you're de-risking once you get a winner. Because what if that next trade that you're risking less on is actually a winner. Now all of a sudden it's a half the size of the previous winners. So then you double the risk again. Oh, it's a loser, right? Don't play around with risk management unless it's rooted in your system's performance and statistics and mathematics. Otherwise, you need a clear plan, right? A very clear plan. And Gerard, you said, when I trade my own capital, I used to risk 1% per trade. That's great. I think 1% per trade is good. When I trade my personal account, I need to risk more than 1%, right? Because I'm taking sometimes one trade a month, and with 1% risk and like a 5R, I need more. I need more. So sometimes I'm going to increase my risk because I also have a very high risk tolerance. My drawdowns, I'm okay with having huge drawdowns on my personal account, as long as it doesn't go to that risk of ruin. And for those of you who don't know, with the risk of ruin, we talk about there's a certain limit to your loss where it becomes exponentially more difficult to recover. Imagine if you have a 50% drawdown, you then have to have 100% gain to get back to break even. So you got to take all of this into consideration, because guys, like, I know we're all prop firm traders here, but I also have my own capital that I manage. I got my own portfolio that I have to manage, and I have to manage that from the mindset of a risk manager, right? Prop firms are different, right? Prop firms are different because I'm not going to say you're gambling, right? It's not gambling, but it's definitely, it's trading with slightly higher risk with no fear of losing your account because you can just buy a new one. So you're trading evaluation just to get payout, just to make money and get payout, right? There's not really that idea of being long-term consistent because you don't have to. You don't really have to be long-term consistent and profitable because you can just lose the account and buy a new one and still get the same account value that you had before. But let's be honest with yourself, right? Everyone watching here, I'm pretty sure that you're not just like, you're looking at prop firms, you're going to make a lot of money, but then what? Like, what do you do with the money that you get from payouts? Where does that money go? You're going to spend it all directly? Like, that's not really good financial behavior, right? What you want to do is you want to invest that money. You take the payouts. If you get a big payout, you take 50%, put it into your bank account, and you take the other half, you invest it. You invest it, right? And then that money that you're investing, you want to be in the market. You want to be long-term consistently profitable for, I don't know, like the next 10 to 15 years. So you need to be able to apply these methods, whether you're just trading valuations or not. All right. So I went out on a rant there a bit, but I do think it's important to really make sure that people, start from the right, like start where they should be starting with risk management. You okay, Ayush?
Oh, you asked me something?
No, I'm just looking at you. You look confused.
No, actually, there is some issue with the internet, so I'm making sure
okay.
to fix it. Yeah, and we have 23 people watching, but 17 likes. It's not fair. Hit the like button.
Not fair.
And we're very close to 2,000 subscribers. So help us reach that, and we'll do good giveaway when we reach the target, like we did when we hit the 1,000.
That's right.
Also, I'm trying to switch from.
Go ahead.
Okay, Why Jonathan is not saying something?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Yeah, guys, and also that I'm switching from MMT charts to maybe ATAS X because I had really bad issues with the order flow on that platform. So I'm entirely switching to ATAS X and currently trying to understand the interface. It's really smooth, like trading view chart, like simply moving left to right. It's very easy and you can find all the tools. So figuring out the platform for me, it will take me 2 days maybe. And then I'll use it on stream every day with volume profile, big trades, and a lot of stuff. So we'll have deeper view on the market, not just the candles. So yeah, finally found a platform which is good, and also it works on Mac. I think it's the first, maybe I'm wrong, but the first platform which is smooth, plus for Mac and Windows both. So do check it out. And also Alex and Anastasia are already using ATAS, but ATAS X is really good for people who are very new to the order flow market, or maybe trying to exploring software which provides good order flow data without any lag. Tried Motivate as well, and it was really bad. It lags every single day. So ATAS X is really, it resembles with TradingView smoothness in terms of interface. So yeah, that's the first platform I came across because we are all very habitual with the interface of TradingView, and we try to find the same environment in terms of software. So yeah, that's the number one. I'll keep it, and I'm actually shifting my futures tool on that platform as well. So entirely switching from Motiwaves to ATAS X and MMT to ATAS X.
Nice. Yeah, Anastasia's gonna like that.
Sure. I'm actually watching her videos on YouTube about the interface and stuff, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely. We just had your video, your for episode 1 of your intraday course is currently been edited.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go through it, make sure everything is as it should, and then we're gonna have it uploaded on the YouTube profile. All right.
Great.
So let's see. I'm looking at JTO here. I'm gonna have to log into the DX Trader interface here on the website as well to see which positions I have open. Let me see. Yeah, that's right. I got the Bitcoin sell and gold long. So I'm currently up about 1.4k. I'm slowly but surely making my way back to break even after doing some intraday trading. As you guys know, I'm not an intraday trader, and usually when I go into the lower time frames, I tend to start losing money. There's a few good opportunities here, possible shorting opportunities within the altcoin market. Like I said, guys, I think this current risk on rally is very it's very fragile, right? Because I mean, the Iran leadership has to make a choice. They either accept US ceasefire deal, or they keep the Strait of Hormuz closed and risk new escalation. And within that US deal, I don't know, man. It feels like that US deal is not really gonna be much favorable for Iran, and I don't think they're gonna give up to the US anytime soon. I think they want to have full control over the Strait of Hormuz, which within the US deal, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be fully open without Iran having control over it, and they're going to take out all the weapons grade uranium out of the country, which is like, yeah. But if there's a deal, there's going to be extended ceasefire for 1 to 2 months, which is of course interesting. But we'll see what happens. If this peace deal does not materialize, then altcoins like ENG, for example, could be in for a good short opportunity right here, which I quite like. So I'm looking at that one. Zcash, it's just very strong here, so I'm not really sure how smart it is to short it. We got JTO as well. This is also a potential altcoin that I'm going to be looking to short. It's just important that even though I'm interested in shorting this because of the fact that we're just in a massive downtrend, it's also important to know that we have had a break of structure. We have now multiple daily candles closing, maybe even weekly candles closing above the daily 50 EMA. We have the local trend is actually in an uptrend, and if we zoom out to the 3-day chart, we can see that we have a sort of like a big gap here, you know. So it might also start a journey to 1.8, the 1.8 region, if we have that breakout. But I'm going to be watching this very closely for potential breakthrough downside. Near is also one of those that I feel trading a little bit too high.
Are you actually holding any altcoin which is not correlated with the Bitcoin?
No, I'm not holding any altcoins right now. Maybe you can check some charts, Ayush. I feel like I've talked for too long now.
Yeah. So if we talk about Zcash, I think it's my second favorite pair after Doge. Doge is not dodging anymore. In this scenario, we are in a very bad range on daily time frame, stuck in the range between resistance and support, and the same thing we have on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I think we might see nothing for this entire month. I don't know why, but with looking at the price action, I feel that the price is still waiting for the new monthly open, because there is not much happening on Doge. Personally, on higher time frame, it's really confusing. Either it will die below 0.08800. Let me mark it instead of calling out the prices this low, or it might continue higher. And the thing is, I am not bullish or bearish on Bitcoin. It's just a matter of fact that I'm waiting for this level to break above, then retest it and continue higher. Then only I'll go long on Bitcoin. Till then, the bias stays bearish. And the good thing is that we are closing above the monthly open, and I'm done recording the video on which I'm saying how to use the opening price. You guys will understand soon how to use it for scalping and for intraday trades as well. So it's better if we ignore Ethereum for a while. Personally, we will have Boris explaining what he's looking at Ethereum, because I don't think so. If we go bearish, if we take some reaction from this supply zone, which I mark is just a wick, continue lower, then I think instead of shorting Bitcoin, I'll go short on Ethereum, because it's very weak and much high probability that it will take the swing low first than Bitcoin. So removing Doge for a while, because we'll look at it when it is out of the range. let's take a look at Tau. And if we look on monthly, dying project trying to take some air. I think. What do you think, Jonathan? What do you think about the higher time frame chart on Tau? You think it's good for shorts? I feel.
Yeah, Tau is one of those I'm looking at for potential shorts. Yeah, it's a little bit messy now, but it's actually quite clear. We the best shorting opportunity was obviously that area right here on a daily, and we're actually retesting that level right now. So I don't really have any good setups on this. I don't feel like it's a good. I don't feel like it's a good pair to short right now. We have a symmetrical type of pattern, maybe like symmetrical type of triangle here. We have that entry. I mean, it looks like price is coiling here. We might have a move like this, you know, and I'm probably not going to be interested in shorting this until we kind of break out of this range here. So if I would have shorted this, then I would have quite liked this trade. I actually think this trade is a good one, something like that. Yeah.
I think we are already done making the swing high for the shorts. Maybe break above and continue lower, or maybe break below and treat this monthly open as resistance. So we have someone asking, Ayush, are you day trader or swing? And I'm actually a day trader in futures and day trader and swing in crypto. Because if we talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, I like to trade on higher time frame. But if you talk about Tau, USD, and Zcash, I like to trade on lower time frame, especially on 5 minute or 15 minute. It's really volatile, and I think Zcash is the best pair you should look at in terms of volume and a pair which gives you opportunity to scalp on lower time frame. Number one on my list. So if we talk about Zcash on higher time frame, it is looking really bullish. We have some sort of resistance at 699.02, which I don't think so it's going to act really heavy on this trend. We might get some sort of, let me remove all of this stuff. It's looking really bad right now. And for no reason, my trading view is acting up. So we also have a good support zone at 593. If we react somehow in this area, we come back in this range and continue moving higher. So I have 3 level mark, and we had a really good trade on after the stream on Friday. So yeah, it is. And also the price action is really smooth, and it mainly moves during London according to my analysis and data I have about Zcash. So should give it a try. Also has really less commissions. It's best to scalp on lower time frame. And we talk about this, how price fills the wick using this support and demand. So it always, yeah, it's like whenever I see rejection or a candle with very heavy selling on, it's not always for me to jump in sells and try the probabilities, but more of like reacting when we have new candle open. So you guys can see that it actually opened in the wick and had nothing, but the next candle started taking support in this area, and this candle indicating that it might fill the entire wick, and the same thing happened. And if we talk about volume profile and stuff, assuming that there were good number of sellers selling in this candle, they got absorbed, or maybe a good big player trying to sell and got absorbed. So the best setup for me is when it comes to fill the wick, I want a big player selling in this wick and being in the range. The same thing I use in futures and crypto, and going longs when these big trader with a good lot size is underwater. It gives really good volume and push towards the opposite side, which is this wick. The best setup which I mainly use. So in support, and also same thing in support. I want a seller to get trapped in support, and we push price higher. The best setup I always had is absorbing the big player trades and playing the opposite side for quick scalp on lower time frame. That's the best. And if we talk about A plus setup, getting a big order, a buy order in this area and above the support. So first we had absorption in the support area of seller, and when we went long, we had acceptance of buyers. A big trade, a very big buy trade in our trend, it gives us more probability that chances are really high that we are in the right direction. So this is what an A plus setup is for me. Right now I'm explaining on trading views. Soon I'll be every single day breaking down on Atas X. Very soon to really like understanding the entire software, and we'll have every day session with the volume bubbles and volume profile and cluster chart and everything. So over there we'll have good idea how absorption and acceptance work, and that's the best strategy you can use for scalping on lower time frame. Bubbles and all of kind of stuff is not good for swing traders because I have never seen anyone using it. So yeah, that's my take on how to use volume bubbles and platform and XYZ. So yeah, this is the best way to understand that are we going to fill this wick or not. So in support, I want a big seller getting absorbed. In resistance, I want big buyer getting absorbed, and we continue to the opposite side. And it actually gives good volume. 50 to 70% of time, yeah. So in crypto, what time do you enter a trade? It is, for me, it is not always about time, but it is more about the reaction near the areas. So currently, if we look at Bitcoin from last 2-3 months, it's been really slow during the NY session, but it was opposite before 3 months when it was in a really good bear trend. So for me, it is not about time, but the area and the reaction we get. It might be night in my country or morning or day or Asia, London, any session. It's all about the reaction and maybe invalidating any area with the good volume, then I plan a trade. So like time and all is for pair. It's more for futures and indices, I feel, but not for crypto. What's your take, Jonathan, on this? If we talk about timing, what time do you take a trade on, or is there anything like time in crypto market?
No, I mean I trade based on the daily close. I usually I don't really have a day like it's such. I plan my trade over the course of several days. You know, I would say I probably spend like, I don't know, like 15 minutes a day actual trading, you know, maybe less. So what I do is I utilize alerts a lot. So I look at markets on the higher time frames and I add alerts, and sometimes it's going to take days, maybe even weeks for those alerts to go off. So if I don't have any alerts, I usually don't take any trades. If I do have alerts, I see them around like 7 in the morning. And then I enter orders based on the alert 7 in the morning, based on the previous daily candle close, and it takes a few minutes, you know. And then I do market scans maybe once a week. Spend like 30 minutes to an hour once a week, usually on the weekends. Right now I'm very busy starting for CMT, so I don't really have much time to do the scanning. But actual trading, I don't spend a lot of time. I scan the markets for, like I said, 30 minutes to an hour once a week. And then actual trading, like entering orders, on average, somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes a day. But I do spend hours every day doing research and running back tests and like doing algorithmic works and stuff like that. So most of my day is spent not actual trading, but to do research and find trading ideas and things like that.
So I feel that, as you said, you mainly look on daily time frame. So let's say the alert hit in the midnight in your country, and mostly you're not going to do anything, and the alert is hit, and mainly reacting in the morning, right? Because I'm not expecting on daily it moves really fast and you are losing an opportunity like in scalpers. For swing, it's like more like chilling and waiting for the routine to set and looking for a setup. More of like opening your phone on at midnight and looking for some opportunity.
Right. So but I don't, like, if I get an alert in the middle of night, I don't have any notifications at night anyway, so I'm going to see it in the morning. And if it's a missed opportunity, then it's a missed opportunity. I don't really care. I'm not going to wake up in the middle of night, just take a trade, because it's like I would not, sleep is important. I would rather miss out on a good trade than have to wake up in the middle of night. You know what I mean? So if it's a trade that I'm supposed to be entering in the middle of night, also when I'm developing systems, I make sure that every single, if it's a system that I'm going to enter manually, I have a lot of automatic trading systems as well. And of course, with that, doesn't really matter when the trigger happens. I don't care about that. But when I backtest a system that I'm going to enter orders on manually, I make sure that when looking at the statistics, I exclude every trade that has been taken from around let's say 7 in the evening, because like after dinner time, I don't want to be trading, I don't want to be working, I don't want to be doing anything, right? So anything after like 6 or 7 in the evening till 7 in the morning, so let's say 7 to 7, so 12 hours, I remove all of those orders, and then I look at the system. Am I still profitable trading, not trading those hours? So for me, it's important when you're back testing a system, you got to make sure that you're only back testing and taking the trades that are actually that you can realistically enter within the time when you're actually awake. A lot of people, they use backtest and then they realize, like, wait a minute, this is a great trade at 2 a.m. I'm not awake at 2 a.m. So if I don't take the trades at 2 a.m., is the system still going to be profitable? But again, like this is for me as a swing trader. If you're a day trader, if you're a scalper, maybe you only trade like the New York Open, like the first hour or the 2 hours of the New York Open. Then of course that's going to be the only time window that you care about.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing I have. I have some of my friends in UK, so it's really difficult for them to trade the NY Open. So they don't really care about that volume getting in and out. So they usually trade NY PM or maybe Asia or London, and they're good. So it's like every state, like no matter where you are, you have to get adjustable with the market instead of forcing yourself looking at charts at night and figuring out your setups. I don't think so. I have never seen anyone trading at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. It's mostly like understanding the session and the time zone and in the market, which is right for you and your routine.
Exactly. That's right. All right, guys, we're going to have Boris coming in soon for his session. Let's see where he's at. And when Boris is coming on, when Boris is coming on, I'm gonna jump off. My son just came home from school as well. We bought a new RC excavator. Awesome. So we have the RC car, and then we have like the trailer. So the RC, like the excavator, can drive up to the trailer, and then we can transport it around. Oh, that's so cool, man.
I think he's going to upload more videos then.
Yep.
Great stuff. I'm also I'm planning to buy a drone.
Buy a what?
Drone. A drone to record. Could use. All right, people. So yeah, and also if you guys have any doubt, please make sure to write. Like we have Gradilius, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Let's call him 3590. He asked many questions, so you can ask anything. Today, I think because of the holiday, we will have more of like an educational session than executing. So yeah, and also if we see some sort of setup on Zcash, we'll take a trade. I'm looking for longs above this VEX if we see good volume pumping above this supply zone. And we have Boris with us. Hello, Boris. Good morning.
Hey guys. How are you?
What's up, Boris? How are you guys doing? How's your connection today? Your connection good?
I hope it's good. I moved, so I completely rearranged my apartment, and I moved the computer desk right next to the router. So if the connection is not good, I'm gonna request a refund from the Airbnb because they promised like a 200 MB, very fast connection, and I told them I need to work remotely. And if the connection is bad, you tell me, they will reimburse me, and I'll get my money back.
Okay.
And this is on record.
Okay, he's prepared. He's prepared to go to court, defend himself.
I am right next to the router. You have to understand, my setup is I had to move the desk so that not to disturb the neighbors, and I probably just pissed a lot of people off in my apartment complex.
But you can't connect it with a cable.
Bro, I'm using a laptop. There's no Ethernet cable. I have to get an adapter.
Right. That's right. There's you don't have Ethernet cables anymore on laptops. That's right. Forget about that.
Yeah, these laptops, they don't if you can recommend me a laptop that has the Ethernet cable, I'll be more than happy.
I don't think they make them anymore.
Yeah, it's not really any more new models.
All right, guys, I gotta jump off. Boris, looking forward to this. I'm gonna be listening in the background. So yeah, it's all yours. I'll see you guys either later or I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, guys?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
All right. How are you doing, Ayush?
I'm doing great.
Wait, finally I see Ayush. This is not Spiderfly.
Yeah,
waiting last week to talk to you, so I'm so happy you're here.
Actually, because of the session, I made sure that he's not around here, and session went really well.
Yeah. So, Ayush, this is going to be my segment called Macro Mondays. When we talk about the macro, and we're going to be talking about crypto specifically and what I'm looking at the macro. So it's not so much interest rates and inflation data, it's more crypto related macro stuff, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a lecture, and yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to answer me. Feel free to ask.
For sure, I am.
Anyway, so I'll get started. So what I want to get started with is Bitcoin. I'm a swing trader, so I want to get started with Bitcoin on the weekly time frame and what I'm watching. So right now, the important thing to note is we're below the 55 EMA, so the 55 exponential moving average. And just backtesting this across time, the 55 EMA is a good marker whether we're in a bullish or bearish phase on Bitcoin, right? So we've pretty much been bullish since up until like late last year, and then once Bitcoin fell below the 55 EMA here, this for me as a swing trader and as an investor in Bitcoin, this is a bearish market, right? So as long as Bitcoin is below the 55 EMA, I have a short bias. We can have like rallies here and there, but until we can get above this EMA at $85,000, then my bias is to the downside, right? So you can see here we tried to retest it multiple times throughout the year, even throughout like last year in late December, and we keep getting rejected, and we saw a nice move down once on the final retest. And right now what I think is happening is we had another retest last week. We kind of got front ran a bit, and once again Bitcoin is kind of like going down a bit here, but not too much, right? Like we're still at like the mid 70,000s or upper 70,000s. So for right now my bias is bearish. Okay, now I want to explain to you why this moving average is important. So now we're gonna travel back in time all the way back to, what is this? We're gonna time travel back 14 years to 2012, because as traders or as swing traders, I consider myself like a time traveler. So we are traveling across crypto space and time here. Okay, look, so this is very important because whenever Bitcoin tends to break above the 55 exponential moving average, it leads to big moves, right? So obviously when Bitcoin was in its early stages, it was less liquid, it was less market capitalization involved, and it was easier to move the price of Bitcoin. So anyway, whenever Bitcoin got above its 55 EMA, it led to very big moves. So for example, when Bitcoin went above like $5, can you imagine Bitcoin at $5? It basically led to a move up to 1,000, right? That's a 20,000% move. It's hard to like even say that 20,000%. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And then this strategy, very simple strategy by the way, works in reverse. And then once we break below the 55 EMA, this leads to a move down of 65% in the bear market of 2014 to 2015. And by the way, I can make a whole video about how to use the 55 EMA. So you can also use this to like plan your short trade. So when it went below and then we retested, we went down, and this led to move down. We retested it again in July of 2015. This led to another move down. So this could be used like as an indicator to go short, right? So basically the way I use this is once we go above the 55 EMA in October of 2015, the strategy is just go long and just ride the trend. So in this case, this led to a move of 7,000%. Yeah, and this is where Bitcoin went from like 500 to 20,000 during the Great Bull Run 2017. So this is where I actually got started trading Bitcoin. And then you could see how this moving average tends to act as a magnet for Bitcoin. And yeah, I just love the 55 EMA. But when we finally like break below it, this leads to move down of 60%. So Bitcoin goes from like 8,000 down to $3,000 in 2018. Now, I keep going on, but once we break above it again, this leads to a move of 80% in 2019. And I mapped out like all the examples here in Bitcoin's history, but essentially the point is that the 55 EMA acts as like a dynamic area or a dynamic what's the word? Yeah, it's just a dynamic marker of support and resistance, and it's very reliable, although it's not perfect. Like, you know, can go below or above and be a fake out. My point is, and the viewers can like backtest this for themselves, because you know, if I go through every single example, it's going to take me 2 hours. So I just want to condense this and move on to other things. The point is, again, we're under the 55 EMA, so as long as we're below it, I'm bearish on Bitcoin, and I'm bearish on bearish on altcoins as well. And this is going to lead me to Bitcoin dominance, which is pretty high right now. And I'm going to talk about Bitcoin dominance, USD dominance, other metrics like Total 3, others, Bitcoin balance on exchanges, ETFOs. I'm going to talk about so many things, Ayush. Do you have any questions?
I mean, if we talk about this band, you are bearish because of that. And also, do you use it as a break and retest as I use the VIX as supply demand? Or it's just candle closing above the band and you go long, or you wait for a confirmation or some retest?
Yeah, good question. So
55 band.
Yeah, there's many ways to use this. You can use this as as an initiation trigger to go long or short, depending on the situation. Or you can use this like, for example, once Bitcoin touched the 55 EMA like a couple weeks ago or came close, you could have been putting on like short orders here, right? So you can use this in various ways, which is why I like this kind of strategy. I think it's very simple, and it's on a weekly time frame, so it's like pretty easy to manage, even if you're viewing this and you have a full-time job and you don't have time to like sit at the screen all day and observe the markets. You can use this. It's a very simple strategy. It just requires a lot of patience. Mm-hmm. But anyway, like, let's say in the next couple of weeks, Bitcoin breaks above the 55 EMA. This would be a trigger for me to basically go spot long on Bitcoin and just ride the trend. And then I would exit if, for example, we're pretending if it goes above and then the next week goes below, I'll just cut the trade and call it a loser. But yeah, it tends to be like very, very reliable. Like it acts as a magnet for price. Like you can see here, like when we got well below it, went right back to the 55 EMA, and that's where we're facing resistance right now. So next, do you have any further questions, Ayush?
I mean, so like you are on the weekly time frame, I guess, right now. So that's the best time frame working for you as a swing trader.
Well, this could also work on a daily, but everything has confluence. So whatever happens on the weekly translates to the daily. So that's why I go to the weekly time frame, because that determines my bias for the daily time frame. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, of course, we could be in a bear market but still see like bear market rallies, right? Like we saw Bitcoin go from 60,000 to, what was the high here? Like 83,000. So, we can still have rallies and we can still like go long on the shorter time frames like you do on the 15-minute. But as a swing trader, like my bias is going to be to the short side.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to switch to another metric, another macro crypto metric. So this is Bitcoin dominance, right? And this is an important level we're facing right now. So Bitcoin dominance is above 60%, which means that the majority of crypto capital right now is in Bitcoin instead of altcoins. And just to go back in time and show you guys, okay, so I have a little graphic here. I think some of the viewers have seen this before, but Bitcoin dominance 101. When Bitcoin dominance goes up, that's bullish for Bitcoin, bearish for altcoins. And when Bitcoin dominance goes down, that's bearish for Bitcoin, but bullish for alts, right? So right now, I think it's better to switch to weekly time frame actually.
Boris, I think we have 2 good questions in chat. Let me read it out for you. Just wondered if the strategy was tested with or without the institutional's money involved. John is asking.
So, okay, so that's a good question. I think, does he mean like institutional money? Because we've had ETFs come back to, ETFs develop in the scene, and this was very recent. So to answer his question, most of this data is based on before institutional money came in. So that's actually a good question, because how much relevant is this strategy if we now have BlackRock and Fidelity and all these big financial institutions out there like putting their money into Bitcoin. But I think a lot of these institutions, they do look at metrics like the 55 EMA and like moving averages on the long term. So I think it's still relevant. Like there's no way to like back test, because we don't have enough data, because the ETFs are very recent. So we're gonna have to forward test this. But I think it's kind of like crowd control, right? So whatever the majority is thinking, that's what's gonna happen. And this is a very this is not like a secret strategy, the 55 EMA. It's like, I think it's written in some books and it's widely talked about, some like the secret indicator, but it works well actually in multiple time frames. So I hope that answers John's question. And what was the other question?
Luna is asking, do you think the war will influence Bitcoin, and how?
I think the war will influence what?
The war will influence Bitcoin, and how?
Mm-hmm. The war, but I don't know. I don't know about the war.
It's all. The best thing he said was, they don't hold coins, so we don't care. They do whatever.
No, the war will not impact Bitcoin. This is technical analysis. I'm not a geopolitical analyst. I have no idea. First of all, I think there's a ceasefire, right? No, I'm sorry, there's dogs barking in the background. You guys can hear that. I don't know how the war will, I don't think the war will impact Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will do what it wants to do.
So that's your answer, Luna.
Yeah. Look, like many hedge funds have like geopolitical analysts. I'm not a hedge fund, I'm just a lone trader. I do not have time to look at the news and what's happening with the war. I just look at the charts. and the charts tell me the news and what's happening with the war. And right now the charts are telling me, Boris, you need to be bearish on Bitcoin, okay?
And I do have time to look at geopolitical events, but I'm happy on lower time frames before you ask anything.
Well, so Ayush, what's happening with the war? Was there a ceasefire? I don't read the news. I literally just look at charts the entire day.
Jonathan said something about that, but I feel the Iran and war and stuff, like it's like Trump fighting with himself. They're saying yes and no. It's not working out. They are not liking the deal and stuff. So yeah.
But there was was there a ceasefire agreement? Because I don't want to get away from the main theme of this 1 hour stream or my segment, but crude oil is down 6% today. These are the futures, right? Because today's actually a bank holiday in the United States, so the markets aren't open except for the CME futures. But I'm guessing
I think
there was some kind of agreement.
Yeah, in the beginning in the stream, Jonathan had a really good chart of oil explaining candles with the news, that what happened at XYZ dates, and what Trump said, and the kind of reaction we had. It's in a range on higher time frame, so yeah, it tells nothing. To be honest on oil, because we are not getting any clear answer from any country or president. So once we do, it will be good for Bitcoin as well, I feel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, was there another question, or is that it?
No, we're good to move forward.
Okay, let's move forward. So anyway, I want to cover my main point about Bitcoin dominance. So last time we saw an alt season, and I mapped this out for you guys. Last time there was an alt season is when Bitcoin dominance went all the way down to 35%, right? So that meant that Bitcoin represented 35% of all crypto market cap, and the rest was in altcoins. So this was in 2018. We had an alt season, and then in late 2020, late 2021, we had another alt season where Bitcoin dominance was at like 37%. And my point with Bitcoin dominance here is that it's in an uptrend. Like, we're up 50% from the altcoin season lows. So my main point is, Bitcoin is dominating the market right now. There's some exceptions like Hype, Hyperliquid token, and then what else? Like Zcash is doing well, TRX. We can get into that later in the stream. But let's talk about now USDT dominance. So again, I marked some key points here. So when USD dominance is falling, that is bullish for altcoins. And when USD dominance is rising, that's bearish for altcoins. Now, the reason for this is that USDT dominance represents how much capital is sitting in stable coins versus, altcoins, right? So right now on a weekly time frame, we've seen an uptrend in USDT dominance. So that's been bearish for altcoins. Obviously, we've seen a huge hit in a lot of altcoins like Cardano, even Ethereum, Dogecoin, your favorite one. So that's my main point right now. It's like USD dominance has been on the increase, although in the past few weeks we are seeing USD dominance falling. So we did have like a bit of a rally in some altcoins, which is good to see, but I think it's like short term because it's the USD dominance is still pretty elevated. I want it to go below like this level, 6.5%, which actually also falls in line with the 55 EMA. Interesting enough. So if we can fall below this level, this will mean that more capital is going to flow into altcoins, and it's going to flow out of the stability of USDT and other stablecoins. And by the way, this chart, like I can also map this out for USDC dominance or whatever other stablecoin. It's going to be all the same. Basically, stablecoin dominance is on the rise. So people are like moving their money from altcoins and into the relative stability of the stability of stablecoins. Just don't put it in Luna, Terra Luna, because that was like supposed to be a stablecoin, but it collapsed. Any questions on USDT dominance?
Oh, so I do have a question. Like, if you talk about when you are planning any swing trade on Bitcoin or Ethereum or any altcoin, does that really matter to you if the USDT dominant chart is maybe near the bands, maybe not closing above or below? Does that something which stops you to take any trade? Because I think near band, it's an area where we wait for confirmation. And maybe let's take an example that Bitcoin or any other pair which you're trying to trade is really doing well above or below the band. Then what kind of confirmation you would like to take when your like dominant chart is in the area of confirmation, or you're not really sure what's going to happen next?
Yeah, good question. So you can, I'm explaining this on a weekly, but you can also use this on the daily time frame. So right now USD dominance is actually rising on the daily time frame. So for me, this means I have a bearish bias on altcoins because money is flowing into the stability of US dollar tether right now. So this affects my swing trading because I'm going to be, again, it's all interconnected, like Bitcoin dominance, USD dominance. If Bitcoin dominance is rising while USD dominance is also rising, that's actually very bearish for altcoins because that means most of the money is flowing into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So that does affect like my swing trading. So I'm like short bias right now on altcoins, and like I said, I'm on Bitcoin. I'm like bearish on the long term, but in the near term we can have like rallies and stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so next I want to talk about total 3. So total 3, this is a metric that basically represents the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So basically this is just measuring all coins apart from Bitcoin, which is the most dominant, and then ETH, which is the second most dominant. So this is a good metric to track because I was like looking at this chart while trading like last year, and we were facing heavy resistance at the $1.17 trillion level. So in October of 2025, if you can believe this, like the altcoin market cap was at 1.2 trillion. And then I don't know if you guys remember this moment in October, we had that major market crash after Trump announced something. But I don't think it was like related to Trump. I think it was just the market was too over leveraged. And yeah, basically altcoin market cap went from 1.2 trillion to like 770 billion, right? So we wiped out 36% of altcoin capitalization, which is huge.
Yeah.
And since then, we've just been unable to recover. Like this is not good. I'm sorry. We're currently sitting at around 750 billion altcoin market capitalization, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So my point is, this is bearish sign for altcoins. But we'll see. Like, if we can hold this $700 billion level, then there's some hope we can go back to the $1 trillion level, which is a big psychological milestone.
Mhm.
So that's total 3. Again, it's very important for the crypto macro view.
So
Now, let's
if we
go
talk
to-
about,
Yeah.
I have a question about total 3. So you
Yeah.
know that not every altcoin follows the correlation of main
Yes.
pairs of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So what do you think? How many pairs really follow the total 3 analysis in terms of correlation?
Yeah, good question. I mean, there's always exceptions. Like right now, we're seeing, Hype is one of the exceptions. It's making new all-time highs.
Mhm.
Tron coin is making highs. And then we also have some of the privacy coins like Zcash. It's not making new highs yet, but it's almost at its all-time high. And then some of the AI tokens are pretty popular as well. So there's a bit of like sector rotation going on, like just like in the equity markets. Like, in the equity markets, we have obviously the AI stocks that are currently driving, I guess, the NASDAQ and the S&P.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's gonna be like exceptions. I'm not saying like every single altcoin is gonna go down. Like, there's gonna be winners out there, but not every single one that like we saw in like 2020 and 2021, or basically like every shitcoin was going up. Yeah, it's a totally different market now. I think investors and traders are more selective now, and we're gonna see a lot. Honestly, I think we're gonna see a lot of altcoins like go close to zero, and the real coins or projects that have real utility will keep going up. So there's gonna be another phase in the market where we're gonna see the top 10 completely shift from where we are today. Like, I don't know if you remember, but back in like 2013, 2014, we had like Peercoin and eCoin and all these random coins that don't exist anymore. So I think, in a few years, it's going to be like, I don't know, honestly, I think Ethereum might not exist soon because this thing is
so weak.
very weak. We'll get into Ethereum later. Okay, next, let's talk about others. So this is similar to Total 3, but this is the crypto total market cap excluding the top 10. So basically, this is every magnificent altcoin outside of the top 10, right? Actually, this is interesting. This chart is actually bullish right now on the daily. Let's see the weekly time frame. All right, so on the daily, like this is actually about to break out. So I'm sure you guys have noticed we've been seeing some decent rallies in some like low cap altcoins. So basically this metric represents that the market cap and like the top, not the top 10, excluding the top 10, is actually on the rise. Let's see if I have the crypto bubbles here. Let me pull it up. Let's look at the crypto bubbles on the weekly. Yeah, so on the weekly time frame, you can see we had some big moves on like Near, it's up 65%, INJ up 19%, Ondo 23%. Hype, 38%, obviously. WLD, this is an interesting one, up 27%. But these are all like altcoins outside of the top 10. So actually, these are performing quite well relative to Ethereum and Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is kind of going sideways right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I have more things to cover, but do you have any other questions so far?
No, if you talk about crypto bubbles.
Everyone loves the crypto bubbles.
Yeah, I mean, there are many coins which I think I have never even seen on TradingView, but it's a good idea for a swing trader to get like what markets look like, looking at instead of searching or looking at setup on TradingView. Just look at bubbles in percentage, you'll have a good idea that what is doing what. So it's a great tool to use.
Okay, let's move on. I want to talk about Bitcoin ETF flows.
Yeah,
because this is very important. So, I think I've been talking about this like on every stream, or maybe not every stream, but every week. But Bitcoin ETF flows have been quite negative over the past, let's say, 2-3 weeks. We've basically been seeing more outflows from the big ETF issuers. In fact, there's only been 3 positive days in the past, let's say 3 weeks. And the majority of days have been the rest. So we have been seeing some outflows in Bitcoin ETFs, especially from BlackRock. Like BlackRock is selling, like on the 18th, they sold 500 million, so $500 million in Bitcoin. And then on the 19th, 325 million. So a lot of outflows are coming from BlackRock. So this is kind of a bearish sign for Bitcoin. So yeah, this is another metric that I track for swing trading. So this is concerning to me again, because like if you have big institutions selling, like retail is not gonna drive the market up. Like we need to see some increase in Bitcoin ETF flows.
I mean, it's a very good website to use, because if we look at on X, the data you mentioned right now was posted on X by some page on Twitter, and I usually don't believe them. So every time I see something, I'll make sure I check on Bitcoin ETF flow to make sure it's true or not. Yeah, because not every single page is really telling the truth.
No, this is very good data. I've been using this for maybe 2 years now. On this site, Farside Investors, they're like a legit data provider from London, and they provide very good data on ETF flows. And this is my main source for following ETF flows.
Okay, so guys, don't get fooled by these pages. Make sure to come in this website.
All right, let's move on. So basically, ETF flows bearish. We need to see an uptick in ETF flows until I get more bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, now let's talk about. I'm talking about Bitcoin balance on exchanges. So this is actually one thing. I think I've been very bearish throughout this stream, but
no, I'm bullish.
One thing that is bullish is the Bitcoin exchanges balance, right? So this measures Bitcoin price against the balance on exchanges, right? So when you see Bitcoin balance in a downtrend, this means people or investors, traders, etc., they're moving their money off of exchanges and putting it into their long-term holdings. So now, according to this metric, like Bitcoin price is going down, right? And also, let me see. Let me actually zoom out here. Yeah, like Bitcoin price is like, kind of like stable to neutral. And the balance on exchanges is stable, right? So that means that we haven't seen an increase in Bitcoin balance on exchanges, right? Because that would mean investors are planning to sell their Bitcoin. We're basically just seeing kind of like a good combination of Bitcoin price being relatively stable and the balance on exchanges not moving too much. So this tells me that people still are holding for the long term, and not too many like long-term investors are planning to sell their long-term Bitcoin holdings. So this is another important metric that I follow.
So the data
Now-
you showed is
Yeah.
the combination of all the exchange, or it was one selected?
Oh no, this is let me go back to it. Yeah, this tracks all the major. So this is Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, OKX. So basically, this tracks all of the major exchanges, or most of them. Look, even FTX is on there.
So it's aggregated, and we have the sum data in form of chart.
Yeah, so this aggregates all data from KuCoin, Bitstamp. Then of course like Coinbase and Binance. I think those are the top 2 exchanges in the world as far as I'm concerned. Then Kraken is my favorite. Let's see if they have, and Bybit, another good one. So yeah, this represents the majority of the top crypto exchanges in the world. So I think it's a very useful metric to use in your arsenal. Okay, next, what else do I have here? Yeah, so look at the liquidation heat maps. Now, before, like in previous streams, I was covering this on the lower time frames, like on the daily to like daily and shorter. But I actually want to look at this on like longer time frames and what it means for Bitcoin. So essentially the way to read this is that we have a large number of long positions, short positions, and there's a pocket of liquidity around 83,000, which is actually kind of close to the 55 exponential moving average. So basically the way to view this is if we can break through this liquidation cluster, we have a clear ride to like $90,000. Now at the same time, just looking at the like 6-month time frame, if we start going below 72,000, there's a lot of liquidity here, a lot of like long stops ready to get triggered. So this is going to be a key level going forward. So 82,000 to the upside, right? So if we can break above 82, we're going to go to 90,000. And I think this will initiate the next bullish phase in Bitcoin. Now, on the other hand, if we go below like 70K, I think we're going to retest the $60,000 low from early February. So that's the liquidation heat maps. And then what else do we have? Now there's some other, I want to go over like open interest, but actually I want to talk about the actual macro events that are happening for this week. So let me get into that. And so some key macro events for this week. So we have, first of all, today the markets are closed because of Memorial Day. So it's going to be a bit of a slow day if you guys are trading Bitcoin. And then Tuesday, so tomorrow, we have consumer confidence plus treasury auctions. Wednesday, this is going to be big. We have the FOMC minutes and NVIDIA earnings. Now you might be asking, why is NVIDIA important for Bitcoin price actions? Because NVIDIA is like driving the tech sector, and the tech sector is heavily correlated to what happens in Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens with NVIDIA earnings. Now Thursday is going to be a very big day. We're going to have GDP, and we're going to have PC inflation data plus jobless claims plus durable goods. So, and my main, I guess, metric for this week is going to be PC inflation, because that's the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation metric. So, markets watch it closely because it directly affects expectations for interest rate cuts or hikes. So let's say on Thursday, if PC comes in hotter than expected, yields and the US dollar will usually rise, which could pressure Bitcoin and other risk assets. However, if the PC cools, markets can interpret that as bullish for liquidity and risk appetite. Now, the second important metric I'll look at is GDP. So that measures economic growth. So if we get like a strong GDP number in the US, that can support equities initially, but also at the same time, it's kind of tricky because the Fed may remain like very hawkish with their interest rate hikes. So actually what we want to see as crypto traders is for GDP to be lower than expected, because that will increase the likelihood of the Fed lowering rates under the new leadership. So actually, weak GDP can trigger recession fears, but at the same time increase expectations for future monetary easing. So yeah, I think that concludes my thoughts on the crypto market overview. And yeah, I'll say just, the macro remains the driver. So PC data will be important, GDP data will be important. And for me, ETFs remain the fuel. And basically, I'm keeping an eye on Bitcoin dominance as well as USD dominance and ETF inflows and outflows and how they're all like interacting together. So yeah, that's my macro overview for this Monday.
I actually got some of the idea that how to analyze when you're a swing trader, but I'm sure moving up to upcoming weeks, every Monday Boris will be explaining his strategy, so I will have more enhanced knowledge and it will improve week by week. So I'm really happy that I'll have a free platform to learn where I can understand how to trade the swing.
Yeah,
it's going to be good for
there were some more things I wanted to cover, like open interest and like Bitcoin open interest and volume, but I think I'll save that for next week. There's so many different metrics we can track on a macro basis, but I think I covered the most critical ones for this week.
Mm-hmm.
But next week we'll take a look at more interesting indicators and on-chain metrics.
Yeah. Are you using that indicator which some random guy in chat recommended about? Was like something called Binance or Coinbase liquidation chart or something like that on TradingView? I'm not sure. You actually liked it and you said you are going to test it. If you remember.
Which indicator?
I actually forgot the name. It slipped out from my mind, but it was something related the data of some exchange. had some bars or maybe like volume, stuff like that you usually use on your trading view chart.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a liquidation map
Oh,
on trading view.
I use so many indicators. Which one are you talking about specifically?
I actually don't remember the name, but it was someone said it on chat and you used it and you liked it and it was working really well. It was something like Bitcoin or maybe exchange or something like that. I think you might have saved in your indicator favorite list if I'm not wrong.
Well, let me read the chat to understand the question.
So that I don't think so. No, not today. Not today.
Oh,
Today. It was maybe last week or maybe before 2
oh,
weeks.
okay.
Anyway, so I'll look into the stream and what indicator it and find it out. So Luna is asking, do you use supply chart as well? I don't know what is a supply chart.
I think, well, she's probably talking about like supply and demand zones. Like, yeah, I definitely use that. Like,
what is a supply chart?
Well, I think she means supply zones.
Oh,
because I don't know what a supply chart is either. I think it's just confusion and wording. But yeah, like all this is interconnected. Like we were talking about Ayush, like last week, like me, you, and then Anastasia, we all use like different trading techniques, but somehow we end up looking at the same levels.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? So yeah, I kind of incorporate supply and demand zones, but they fall in line with like my more like systematic indicator based strategy.
Mm-hmm. That's really amazing. And also, if we hit 30 likes, we should do a giveaway and write Boris in the chat if you want to participate in the giveaway. You will have 2-3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, and then I will do the duck race, and I will be back in 2 minutes. I have to call someone else in the stream.
No, don't go, bro. You complete me, Ayush. Can't be without you.
I think Spotify might hurt Spotify if I get to know this.
Yes, Spotify completes me. I am nothing without Spotify.
Yeah, so he's joining us in 2 minutes.
Oh, man.
Till then, write Boris in chat and we'll do a giveaway.
I can't wait to see Spotify again.
Yeah. So.
All right. So while I wait for Spotify, I guess we're talking about the macro. Let's talk about Bitcoin on the daily. So what I'm looking at here, like using pretty much the same logic, is again the 55 EMA on Bitcoin. Let me actually throw on some of my indicators because we're shifting from the macro to more of the micro view. If that makes sense. So let me pull up my template here. Yeah, so what I'm looking at on Bitcoin on the daily is, let me remove some of these. There's way too many moving averages here. Yeah, so good thing is that Bitcoin has recovered above the 55 EMA on the daily time frame. So we went as low as $74,000 this past Saturday. Yeah, we actually had a big move on Saturday. I forgot about that. But we've since recovered. We're above the 55 EMA, but we're kind of like sandwiched in between the 55 and the 21. So this actually falls in line with this horizontal level at like 77,720. So basically what I'd be looking for is for a break above 77,850 on Bitcoin. And then I think if we have enough volume, we can retest a 200-day simple moving average, which is coming in at 80,000. Let's just call it 80K even as a psychological number or level. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Let's look at ETH. Oh my god. So I got ETH. Let me move my drawings here. ETH looks so bad here. So we actually briefly broke below, or no, we tested the 200,000 psychological level on Bitcoin on Saturday. We had like I guess it was like a low liquidity environment, and Bitcoin and Ethereum had like a large move to the downside, but actually the 2000K support held on. So this is the line in the sand for me on Ethereum. Like if we lose 2000 on ETH, I think we're going down to at least retest 1700. For now, it's still remaining above 2000. Next resistance for me on ETH is going to be like 2185. So I think we're going to test this yellow line, the 21 EMA here, and then we actually have a lot of work to do on ETH on the daily, because we're facing resistance at 2185 and then 2225. It's on the daily, and then on the weekly, the weekly looks so bad because we're below the 200 week simple moving average. And this is like a huge marker of whether we're in a bearish or bullish trend. So I'm gonna remain bearish on ETH until we can break above 2500. So in order for us to break above 25, it's gonna require a 20% move on ETH, which I find not impossible, but very unlikely for now. And guys, another thing is, like, another reason why I'm bearish right now is look at the S&P 500 features. Like we're making new highs on the S&P. I assume we're making new highs on NASDAQ as well. Yeah, new highs on the NASDAQ. And then what is Bitcoin doing? Like pretty much nothing. Like it's in this downtrend. Like no money is flowing into ETH. Like most of the money is coming into the equity markets. And I keep saying that, I was bullish for a time that, oh, hello Spotify. Guys, it's very concerning that we keep seeing capital increase in the equity markets and nothing is happening, or like very little is happening in the altcoin markets. What do you think about this situation, Spotify?
That area, it's very range.
It's very what?
Nothing. Come on, I think okay, we got many people writing Boris in the chat. I think we are good to go, right? We have 39 people watching us. Can we give them a few more minutes to write something in chat?
Question. Oh. Alright, someone said, or I missed what he said. I don't know who said what.
No,
John and Dreka says, thank you for doing the macro analysis, Boris. It was really good. Oh, thank you, John and Dreka. It's a very kind comment. Guys, I need more comments like this.
Yeah. If you want to learn every Tuesday, make sure to leave some good comments for the sunshine, Mr. Boris. I think, okay, I should prepare this script till Boris will break down something which is already broken. Market.
Yeah, let me... Spotify, maybe you can switch to your chart. I need to take a quick break.
Yeah, sure.
I just need a 5-minute break, and I'll be back, all right?
All right. No problem. And we are on my chart. And as I explained, why my chart looks weird? Oh, it's all good. So yeah. As we discussed that we had a really good setup on the Zcash. If we look at when we are calling Zcash, don't say it just normally, because Alex said to call it as Zcash. So if we talk about Zcash, it opened above the weekly open, indicating that price wants to go higher. So what I'm looking at is it might take the previous swing high, but it's being really slow in this range because we had good number of volume traded, and I actually need my volume chart as well, which I'm working on setting up. Soon you guys will have it, and also I'll upload a video on, maybe I should not, because I have Anastasia already. She'll explain us how to use ATAS very like a pro, or maybe we'll have some template or something like that. So what I want is I want some good seller trade in this area, absorbing them and continuing higher. And this is the idea on Zcash, but because of the holiday, I know it's Zcash don't really care about holidays, look at the movement, but even yesterday it gave us really good move on Sunday, and you can trade on Sunday as well with Tradeify crypto if you don't know. Yeah, no holidays, don't touch the grass, let the grass grow near your setup. Okay, and if we take a look on Bitcoin is actually in area of a decision. So if we close above, I think I should zoom in. If we close above this resistance zone, we are good for longs. If we fail, we are good for shorts. And same on Ethereum, but I think for bearish, Ethereum is best pair for shorts, without any doubt, because it's the weakest pair, and expecting that it will go below 1960, and that's gonna be amazing for shorts on Ethereum than Bitcoin. Let's have a look on PaxG, breaking down for our new viewers. Don't worry, I have taken screenshots of your name. We'll do the giveaway soon. And if we look at PaxG, it is currently stuck between the supply demand zone of higher time frame. So above we have resistance, which we already somehow tested. I'm expecting or assuming, or maybe let's have a look on real gold chart instead of PaxG. We'll have good data. Oh my god, actually we already tapped the support area and we are reacting. So that makes me bullish on higher time frame on gold or PaxG. But let's see what's happening on lower time frame. We have weekly open, we have monthly open above. So I think we need more volume coming in for longs. Yeah, we tapped in. You guys can see the exact support area, gave us a good reaction, assuming it was a really good trade on lower time frame. Let's take a look on 1 minute. Something I never look at this range, slow market, taking out all the stops and continuing higher, assuming many sellers were absorbed and buyers took the control. And the best setup is the delta. What I like to see on support zone, the negative delta for sellers getting weaker. Something like this. Let me draw it. Something like this, getting a big delta, and then it is slowing down, indicating sellers are not really happy, going lower in the support. Then opposite in resistance, buyer delta, the positive delta getting weaker, indicating that price might continue lower. Also, when we are in the confirmation candle, I like to have aggressive bids in candles, indicating that they are really taking control. So it's like getting an early idea, where you understand that buyers are actually taking control, and it is the best setup for scalpers on futures, on crypto, on gold, on PAXZ, and on all markets. So it is always good to have what's happening behind the charts. So for me, it is support and resistance. So first of all, if you are not really good at marking zones on TradingView with normal candlesticks, don't even think about order flow. First of all, you have to make sure that you are good with market profile, and then you move the order flow. I have seen not a single trader who says that from the day one they started learning order flow. That's bullshit. It never happens. I've never seen anyone doing that. Our human brain is designed in a way where we first learn the basic, try to make quick money, blow the account, and then understand the real game and try to learn something which is actually good, instead of buying a $99 course a month and learning nothing. So, and also on Tradeify Crypto YouTube channel, we are very close to upload the first course video, which Ayush is going to be explaining how to mark the supply demand zone. So that is something which is going to help you how to identify zone first. That's the first thing which I think a trader should learn, then go into some advanced thing like watching numbers and stuff. Yeah. So that's all about how I look at market near the supply demand zone. So it's first candlesticks, then numbers. It's not numbers first and then candlesticks. Okay. Thank you, Initial Maverick. And also, I think it would be good if you could have done the giveaway on the Discord live stream, but actually it's my fault. I asked Sensei later, and it was weekend. He said yes, he's a good man. Jonathan said yes to do a giveaway for 5 people. It could have been a good race, but anyway, we'll do again on next Friday. Let's go back to Ethereum and Bitcoin, and same kind of setup. And it's I think only for this week you guys will see me on TradingView. After that, I will try to provide, not try, but 100% we're going to provide some good value with proper data on chart and how to use it, and something like how to switch when you are done with the candles to order flow, instead directly talking about numbers which can ruin your brain. Yeah. So yeah, and I think I should make a list now. We have a lot of people writing Boris. Okay. Producer is also in the chat. We are going to add him as well. If he wins, he will be trading us live tomorrow. Is that correct? Yes, look at the spirit. He is always ready. Okay, I'm taking the list and spamming Boris 2 times. Not going to give you place twice in the race. Give me 5 minutes. I'm just done. Just done taking screenshots. And we will be doing the giveaway when we have Boris with us. It will be fun. Okay. Wait a minute. All right. And if you guys have any question, let me know in the chat. I'm making this, making the listing of the names and not taking any entries. We are done. Give enough time to every single person in the chat. It's how we operate. Control and all right.
Hey,
Yeah, Boris is back.
I heard my name, Boris. I hurried back my computer as soon as I could.
Duck race.
Are we doing a duck race then?
Exactly, my friend. And we had a really great session, Boris. I enjoyed it. I was in the background. Listening to your Macro Monday with the boy Boris. It was amazing.
Spotify, tell me, what did you learn anything? Like, what did you find it useful?
So you are taking a test. That's really. I just appreciated your session, and you're taking a test.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Don't act like my father. He always does that. Okay, you did. Now tell me exactly what you learned. Nice. Okay, I think we should.
Why did you not learn anything from my macro analysis?
I learned one thing, which is if something happens, ask Ayush and he will explain me. Because he was asking some questions which
I like Ayush. I want Ayush back. So this Spotify guy is annoying.
Then
okay.
50 minutes. 30 minutes.
No, we got complaints last time. We cannot do it.
Let's do 1 second. It's gonna be
good. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is good.
Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, I think 003. I don't know how that number shifts. Oh my god, I did 33. How to shift?
300.
Oh, without you, Boris, what I would do?
I think you have like.
Oh my god, it's 30. Oh my god, what am I doing? 300. Is it good, Boris? Set. Big screen. And start.
Look at this plan. Right? I wish Jonatan was here, because he would admire this.
What? Okay, I'm getting a lot of oxygen from Boris. Oh my god, what a team. Look at our producer playing the best team. Okay. The pink dog, Dr. Dog.
Who's in the lead right now? I see Glenn there.
Donald
Glenn
J.
is
Trump.
always in the race.
Look at this unique duck we have today with the cigar. It's Tate duck. Oh my god, I don't want that sound. Let's see who's going to win. Wrong.
So you're on.
Sliced bread. Love your name, buddy. We have this pink duck pumping up.
Oh, wow.
6 seconds. It is going to be fantasy. I feel no. It's the pink duck. Vic T169. Congratulations for winning a two-step account from Tradeify Crypto, which you can
Nice.
trade on weekends
Congratulations.
as well. If you are with us, write something in chat, please. Write one or something. And add your email in your description to get your account soon. Yeah, 69 for the win. All right. Please make sure to add your email to your description, okay? I'm adding Control C. Boris,
Yes.
maybe you can break down something till I forward his details.
I don't understand what you said.
Spider-Man.
What did you say, Spotify?
Oh no, nothing. I thought I was on mute.
Spotify. I wanna know your analysis on Doge.
Oh, don't talk about
Wait.
Doge, man. I have given up on Doge, please.
I forgot your favorite.
On Ethereum.
Let's talk about Zcash. What's your opinion on Zcash?
It is not Zcash, Boris. Please pronounce it with respect, as Alex said. Zcash. Say Zcash. Repeat
Trying
after
to
me.
be politically correct here.
No.
You guys pronounce Z as Z. I'm saying Zcash.
No.
America, in my country, we call it Zcash.
We
But
can
I'm
talk
trying to
about it only if you pronounce it properly. Say Zcash. Say it. Come on.
Look,
Build that little Alex in yourself and say Zcash. It's easy.
Zcash.
No.
I don't know why you guys say
I don't feel-
Zcash. It's so weird. Stop saying it.
I can't help it. I'm from India. But
Look.
I didn't get that energy, Boris. Can you say it again? I'm not going to change the
It's called
topic.
Zcash. It's not Zcash. I was trying to be respectful, but if Alex is saying this, then it's Zcash from now on. Zcash.
No, you have to get that energy. Zcash, something like that. Zcash. Come on, Boris. It's your session today.
Spotify, what do you think about Zcash?
Yeah.
We all love Zcash here. Like some people talking about Z. What is Zcash? Some kind of
Same thing.
fake. No, it's a fake coin. Zcash is the real one.
Is that so?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Spotify, I want your analysis on Zcash on the lower time frames, and then I'll tell you my analysis on the higher time frames.
Mhm.
So we'll
Fair enough.
provide our expertise on the lower plus the higher time frames.
Sure. Oh wait, let me share my screen. Sorry, producer. Where is my trading view? It is somewhere in the corner. I think it's I'm very close to find it. Wait. Okay. On Zcash. If we look on weekly time frame, I'm actually bullish.
Wait a minute. Oh, don't look at the week. That's my job.
Oh,
Look at
my
the
bad. Sorry. Let's go on 4 hour.
Yes.
Let's be fair. So actually had a really great trade after the stream yesterday on Discord. Currently, we are struggling near this supply zone on higher time frame. Price is really slow, but I'm expecting that we might continue till 699, which is okay. I'm not talking about, but there is some sort of level which I'm expecting to target. So I'm not bearish on Zcash. On lower time frame, I'm bullish, and yeah, that's all. And if we can I go in daily, Boris?
Oh,
No.
wait.
Oh,
I did
my
accept
God.
you to my
Look
swing
at
trading
him
club.
choosing
Wait.
the time frames.
Yes, you can. You passed my test.
So what kind of test this was?
I don't know. Whatever it was, you passed it last week. So yes, you can analyze. I will allow you to analyze the daily time frame. But if you get it wrong, I am demoting you back to the lower time frames. So make sure your analysis is good on the daily.
Yeah. Let me get that energy of swing trader. And if we look at daily time frame, what I feel is, yeah, I am. Let me apply this 55 band. Can it work?
But if I make sure you answer
Wait.
this, make sure your analysis is correct.
Oh my God. Look at him being harsh on me. Wait.
This swing traders club is very exclusive. I cannot accept everyone. So if you get this wrong, I will have to kick you out.
Is okay.
Look,
So
I'm very open. Like, we're traders, so we're very open-minded. Everyone's gonna have their different perspectives. So really, there's no wrong answer.
all right.
But
So
there is a
let's
correct answer.
let's make it more fun. I'll explain the daily time frame. If I do right, we move forward. You analyze the higher time frame, and then you come to
Yes.
lower time frame to my area, and we see who wins. How about that?
I don't go from high to lower. I stay at the top. You have to
But-
get to my level. Sorry.
I'll let you have that one. If we look at daily time frame, it's
You go
bullish to
from
me.
higher to lower. You have to go from lower to higher, right?
Yeah. Let's go in 1 minute. We'll do 1 to 4 hour, okay? On 1 minute, it is looking shit. Same shit. 5, nothing. 15, I'll say okay. Can find a good setup on lower time frame. I use 15-minute as a higher time frame if I'm executing on 2-minute or 3-minute. Okay, because Zcash is a pair where you can trade on lower time frames. Let's go on 1 hour. As you guys can see that the highs, we are getting rejection from these highs. For that, on lower time frame, I need good bull volume to ensure that price is going to pump up higher. Right now, it is a bit risky to go long on lower time frames. And I'm done. Boris.
Okay. But I want to hear your analysis on the daily. So go ahead.
He remembers every single thing. Okay. So on daily time frame, as you can see, my indicator is showing me green candles. Means we are above the 55 band, which the big guy Boris uses on crypto chart. So I'm actually bullish on Zcash on day. Oh, okay, it's 4 hour maybe. My bad. On daily, it is bullish to me for today. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you for having me.
I have bad news. I have bad news. So unfortunately, what we're seeing on Zcash on the daily is a double top pattern, and
but no. I think you didn't hurt me. You didn't hurt me. I said we have the level of rejection. It is bad for bulls. You are trying to manipulate my analysis. I said we are getting rejected. So I'm bullish if we close above. Not right now.
Ayush, you missed the rising wedge pattern here, and the target for Zcash is going to be 290. So we're going to go down. Sorry, we're going to go down by 60% once this pattern unfolds.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to demote you from the Swing Traders Club. Just focus on the lower time frames for now.
Okay.
The worst. Okay, I'm joking. No, I'm bull. Okay, this is a joke. It's a joke, guys. Relax. I don't believe in this rising wedge pattern. No, I agree with you. Like Zcash looks pretty good. If we break above 680, 675.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're in reach of the all-time highs at 700. So very good analysis by Tradeify, actually. I do agree with you. I am bullish on Zcash. We just need to get above this level, then I'll be very bullish.
That's correct. So I think you should give me some perks after every good analysis I do instead of blackmailing me. What do you think? I should get an extra session 1-on-1 to learn the higher time frames.
Sure. I charge about 1 Bitcoin an hour for my lessons.
Oh, that's can we wait for Bitcoin to come at 50 and then I buy your course?
Yeah, give friends discount. Friends, family, co-workers.
So how much is off? 99%.
Yeah, I'll consider it.
Can Roman use it?
Yeah, everyone is welcome to get my discount. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
On what timeline was the volume from before?
Wait, I mean,
time frame. Yeah, exactly. on what time frame was the volume from before? She means the volume
What-
profile? The
On what time
horizontal
frame?
or vertical?
I think it's a question for you, Spotify.
No,
I
I
wasn't
think
talking
they
about volume.
saw your chart.
There's nothing about volume there.
No, she said before. So I remember when you're doing the giveaway, you had the vertical volume profile on some chart, not on this one. Maybe she's asking.
Well,
Yeah,
I
she
thought time
said
frame
no.
with volume before. But volume. Do you
On
want
this
volume or
one.
volume?
She said on this one, on Zcash, Zcash, you use the volume profile. So she wants to understand why.
I wasn't using. I was just using moving averages. But we can put on the volume profile for sure. So, let's see. No, Zcash volume profile is bullish. We're above the major volume nodes, so really we just need to break above this $700 level. Then we have clear skies to 1,000. This is on the daily time frame, Luna.
So if we talk about, if you don't know how to use volume profile, I'm working on a video, and also we have Anastasia.
Hey, Anastasia.
Oh, is she here?
Yeah. Well, I'm not,
Finally, she's back.
Yeah, there we go. Hey guys.
hey, how are you?
Good. After 4 days of celebrating my birthday, I'm fine. I'm getting back into stuff.
Yeah, by the way, everyone wish Anastasia happy birthday.
Yeah.
This last week.
Thank you. Finally 18. Now things are legal. How are you all
In
doing?
my country, you have to be 21
Mm.
to.
Not yet, huh?
Hmm.
Not yet. Okay. Oh,
But we'll manage
so you
something.
can't. You're not allowed to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see. I cannot go to
God.
United States, not only because I don't have a visa, but also for different reasons.
But, well, if you do get a visa, you can get a gun or buy a gun and do whatever you want with that gun. But you cannot drink. You know, it's very weird in my country.
Crazy. So what are you guys trading? The market has not been the best if it comes to crypto and gold. We've been ranging for such a long time, since last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, today is actually. What did you say?
I was saying that seems like I didn't miss much if it comes to the market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because today is actually a major holiday, bank holiday in the US. It's Memorial Day, so stock markets are closed in the US. So there's not much volume, not much activity happening. So it's kind of a slow day for the markets.
Yeah.
Like I think the futures markets are open for gold for like a short time, but like the gold ETF is not trading. Neither is the Bitcoin ETF. So it's kind of a slow day for the overall markets. But we're still here streaming on a bank holiday.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, still here.
I mean, what else? I have nothing else to do.
I was looking into gold and Bitcoin and Nasdaq in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
Sorry?
really want to hear your analysis because I was short on PaxG on longer time frames. I'm curious because you're an expert in gold and PaxG. What are you thinking right now?
I was long in PUBG just because of, but I closed it already, so it was really short term. So I was long from this point of control. It's a daily volume profile, so that's how it, like, the volume is distributed today. Obviously, we are ranging. On this move up, we had the majority of volume in the day was formed here, and every time we come to like this level, the price comes, there is more volume coming in. So the point of control stays at, for futures quotes, is 45, 55 approximately. So I was long here and I closed it on this level here because we had a level, the retest, we kind of, ranging, so I didn't want to keep holding it. If it comes to gold, like, I have several things that I'm looking at, and it's gonna depend massively on how this week is going to go in terms of fundamentals and macro and so on. So let me just pull up my notes because I was here. I was writing some notes regarding gold for myself. So where is this? Here we go. That's Nasdaq. That's what I also was doing. Here we go. So there are several things that are influencing the price of gold at the moment. And first of all is a COT that I'm studying, the code positioning. So if it comes to the report of the last week, the open interest for gold, futures specifically, but obviously the futures determine the movement of digitalized gold as well, the PACs. It's around 540,000 contracts, and their majority majority are the longs. So there is mostly longs than shorts for the beginning of the last week. However, during the last week, and this is something that's very important, the longs started to be slowly cut and the shorts started to be added back. And in general, the net longs in COMEX gold futures at the moment have fallen to the 22 months low from the institutional perspective. So the institutions are heavily cutting the longs, and the demand is basically cooling off. Obviously, we are far from completely bearish commitment of traders reports from the institutional side, but it's definitely cooling off based on the balance and on the flow. And there are several things that are going to be influencing gold in the next 2 weeks. So in 25th of May till the 5th of June, I was analyzing for the next 10 days. First of all, it's rates and inflation, because this is one of the main risks at the moment. It's a real Federal Reserve interest rate, right? And since oil prices are high, and last week we still had several inputs regarding the Iranian situation again, oil prices still sky high, right? FOMC meeting minutes last week as I'll show that a lot of participants of the Federal Reserve, they are ready to even hike the rate if the inflation doesn't moderate. And there is a PCE report, personal spendings report, coming on the 28th of May. That is gonna be a key trigger because that's a key indicator that the Federal Reserve is looking at if it comes to inflation and the rate decision. So not even CPI, not PPI, but the PCE. So on 28th of May, we're gonna have the data coming out. Besides this, obviously, the talks between US and Iran continue, but there are some comments regarding the nuclear program. And obviously, Trump controversially is saying that he is ready to take action again, which was shaking the market last week. And that's also part of the reason why we were consolidating, because there is more uncertainty again regarding the same topic. So we're coming back to the same spot. Besides this, the bond market and the US dollar are also influencing gold, also the same as, for example, it's influencing Nasdaq and influences Bitcoin as well. It's influencing the gold prices too. So the same as for Nasdaq, the same as for the Bitcoin, the 10-year treasury yield, because it's on near the annual highs, and as long as yields stay so high, gold, which is a non-yielding asset, it's going to be facing the pressure. And the strong dollar, obviously, on the other hand, also reduces the interest in golds as for the non-US investors, which also is influences the gold prices because it becomes much less attractive with such a high dollar quotes, And we did have the Kevin Warsh taking over federal chair on the May 22. So now we have the new Fed chair, and market is also going to be watching his opinion, and his plan regarding the interest rate and inflation. I'm not expecting him to be necessarily straightforward, how we're going to cut the rates or something, or hike the rate, but as long as he at least is soft regarding his what he says, that's gonna help gold. But if he's gonna be really harsh regarding the inflation and everything, then it's not gonna help a lot, because it's gonna be increasing the dollar and it's gonna be obviously dipping the gold more. So there are many things that we are looking at. If it comes to the base scenarios for gold, I have several base scenarios that I'm looking at from the technical perspective. So my main scenario is like the consolidation and attempt to rebound higher, which at the moment gold holds around 4,500 more or less, right? As long as we hold 4,500, 4,450, if it comes to futures prices, right? We are most likely going to be seeing the continuation and rotation towards 4,700, 4,715, even in the next short period of time. So here is my several zones. So from as long as we hold above 4,550, for example, let's say, I'm expecting it to be around 4,600, 4,700 soon. Those are like my targets for gold. Now, on the flip side, if gold does break below 4,550, right, where we are right now, then I'm expecting gold to drop towards the next support, which is going to be 4,000. One second, what I was writing myself. 4,490. So this zone back. So this is the next, like the previous support zone again. Because it's also, if you look at it, it's like a big range, and we are at the top of the range at the moment from the technical perspective too. So if we do break this area, on the other hand, I am expecting the price to continue towards the previous support. So if we break close below some kind of rate as continuation back down. Now, if the price doesn't hold 4,490, so 4,500, 4,080, then I'm expecting it to drop towards 4,400, 4,430. So that's going to be the next area. So if we do break this and the price actually closes below, so the candle actually is able to close below because we had tests, but the price recovered. So the next stop on the next attempt to break it is going to be 4,420. So mainly my key scenario for this week is this. That is going to be heavily depending on data that is going to be coming out. For me personally, I don't think we're going to go further until the PC comes out and until there is some clarification from Warsh or from Trump as well. And to be fairly honest, I have a very similar opinion also on Nasdaq and on gold, on Bitcoin as well. There are same exact things that are influencing Nasdaq and Bitcoin at the moment. So again, inflation and rates, obviously, right? The PC that is going to come out on 28th. The bond market, because they're extremely high, they're reducing their interest towards Bitcoin, towards gold, towards Nasdaq, towards ES as investing aspect. And however, what is driving the stock market again is AI optimism, because on the 26th of May there is a report that is coming from the NVIDIA's and other AI giants. So if the focus is going to be turned into this, and the report is going to be super good about the quarterly report, we're going to have the continuation towards the previous all-time highs again. So towards the new all-time highs, because we are on the all-time highs, obviously, for Nasdaq, right? And it can maybe as a correlation aspect lift Bitcoin too. However, again, it's what can be driving it tomorrow is AI. I'm not sure how much is going to affect crypto. If it comes to crypto, it's inflation, it's PC, it's hormones, again, it's yields. They need to drop for bond market needs to drop for them to become attractive investment again. So that's my opinion. I'm still having the same exact opinion on Bitcoin as last week. So my analysis still didn't change because we didn't go anywhere. I'm still bullish until let's assume like 79K towards 80, 81K for Bitcoin. Also, another reason I'm still bullish is because we did have attempt to go lower and the price wasn't able to hold. So I'm still expecting this, or the continuation straight to the upside. And for the stock market, I'm pretty much bullish as well. So that's my opinion on everything so far.
Yeah. Wow, it's a lot of information. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah.
But
I was writing the analysis today.
what we obviously have.
Yeah. Sorry.
We have a lot of like economic data coming out this week. So, like you said, we have GDP, PC, inflation, FOMC minutes, jobless claims. Like, what is the number one metric that you're looking at or data point?
Sorry, it was cutting, I think, because it's delayed. What exactly you were asking? The last sentence, if you can repeat.
So, we have PC inflation, we have FOMC minutes, we have GDP data, we have a lot of big economic data coming out this week. Which one are you like, I guess, if you have to choose one, which is the most critical or the most important one that you're paying attention to?
I'm paying the most attention to the PC on the 28th.
PC.
Yeah, that's also something that Federal Reserve is paying the most attention to if it comes to making their decision regarding the rates and standpoint.
Right.
And FOMC minutes, because and any information from any Federal Reserve representatives, because we don't know 100% the standpoint of Kevin Warsh yet regarding the inflation and the rates. So that's going to be very interesting as well. The market is going to be watching this too. And for the stock market specifically, I am waiting for the reports from AI companies and from NVIDIA, because they can drive it just out of like a wave of excitement or something. GDP, obviously it has an effect on inflation, but we need to realize that in the chain of like GDP, it's a super delayed indicator. It comes like at least with a 6 months or like a year and a half delay, because like from 6 months to 15 months, like 18 months delay, because until the inflation influences how people spend money, how they spend money influences how the companies earn money. And this all comes to the GDP data, which is delayed by default itself. It's like super delayed indicator. And usually what is taken in the account the most if it comes to inflation, realistically, first of all, is housing data and it's PC. So housing data is coming tomorrow, but parts of pieces are coming almost every single week normally. So tomorrow it's coming some data as well about the housing market. But for me, it's PC and FOMC meeting minutes, because obviously Kevin Warsh becoming the new Fed chair is going to be like one of the main topics.
Yeah. So how do you think this will influence Bakshi? Like, let's say we have like lower, like based on what the PC data comes in, like how will that impact gold or Bakshi and Bitcoin?
Well, as I was saying, it depends on which data is going to come coming out, right? If the PC is coming strong, it means a higher inflation. So the higher inflation means there is even less chances for the rate cuts, and there is even chance of the rate hikes, because the standpoint of the Federal Reserve representatives was that they kind of are ready to even hike the rate if needed, which is going to be normally, it's kind of it's very important when they study economical data to know what comes after what and what is current attention of investors turned into, because currently it's working the way that the higher there is an inflation, the higher the potential of the rate hikes, the stronger, the more expensive is the dollar, the bond market, and the less attractive Bitcoin, gold, and stock market is for investors. The less money coming in there, because for investor it's more profitable to hold US dollar as a cash when it's expensive than put it in the assets hoping they're gonna grow, because they're most likely not gonna grow much. So it's investors are holding their US dollar as an asset, itself.
Yeah.
So it's if it comes higher or high or like without any positive signs of it, doesn't like at least being stable, I'm expecting the drops across whatever we trade.
Very interesting. Because right now I'm looking at the CME FedWatch tool. For those who aren't familiar, this is a good tool to, predict what the probabilities will be for the interest rates by the Federal Reserve. So I'm looking at July 20, in 2 months from now. So 90% chance we will stay the same, right? 300, 350 to 375 basis points. But this is interesting. There's almost like a 9% chance we'll have an interest rate hike. I wasn't expecting. I thought we were gonna have like a drop. But
not anymore. That's the whole point, right? The last week has shown that they're expecting the hike if nothing changes with inflation, and nothing is going to change with inflation if nothing changes with hormones and oil prices, because oil prices are driving the inflation sky high as well.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Because I don't really look at the macro. I mean, I did look at the macro the first hour for crypto, but you're right about inflation. Like, I think when we first started doing these streams, we were talking about a potential interest rate drop or decrease, and now we're talking about a hike. And if we zoom out to September, there's a 25% chance, which is like almost actually over 1 in 4% chance we're gonna see a 25 basis point hike in interest rates, which is not gonna be good for Bitcoin, not gonna be good for crypto. And this is interesting because this maybe why Bitcoin isn't going up right now, and neither is Dogecoin, despite the fact.
Exactly. When we started the streams, we were talking about the potential decrease, and obviously it was delayed in time, delaying until last week we actually got the information that there possibility exists of the rate hikes again.
Yeah, and look at this. If we zoom out to December, so that's half a year from now, there's a 40% chance there's going to be an interest rate hike by at least 25 basis points, and even like over a 1 in 10 chance we'll see a 50% basis point hike, which is going to be awful for crypto markets. I don't know how this will impact like gold or the equity markets, but this is not, again, this is not bullish for me for crypto.
It's not going to help gold as well, because normally gold is kind of like a safe haven asset.
Right.
But it was, now it's perceived.
Should we invest our money into like bonds? I don't know.
It's a little too late, don't you think? It's on the highs.
I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things.
It's an annual hikes, the annual peaks.
Yeah.
A lot, honestly, I wouldn't personally do any rash decisions now, because a lot depends on Trump and Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment they come to some kind of conclusion or give hope about this, the oil prices are gonna drop, inflation is gonna drop, and there will be hopes towards the rate, at least being stable. And that's going to drive the market. So it essentially, we do need to, like, we realize that it doesn't really need to be even the deal. Trump needs to come out and they can say, we are reaching the deal in the next 2.5 weeks. And the market is going to go up again. Even if in 2.5 weeks, nothing is going to happen. So it's super manipulative market at the moment. I would be careful.
Yeah, Trump is just... Oh, God, I forget. Can I say bad words on here? No? Anyway, Trump is messing up the markets. I could use more vulgar language here, but he's completely messing up the markets, and it's pissing off... Oh, is that a bad word? I don't know. It's pissing off me. It's pissing off other investors, and I think... Spotify, you haven't said a single word in the past 20 minutes. What are you thinking?
No, I was importing all the data you guys are providing about the economy and all stuff. So, yeah, and also Anastasia, I'm shifting to Atas X from MMT, and I'm actually watching your tutorials on Atas. I'm making lists and learning the platform. In 2-3 days, it will be up, and I'm going to use it in futures, in crypto, and all the markets. And I really like the platform. It feels like a pro version of TradingView because it's really smooth. So I'm all in Atas X.
Nice. Let's go. Welcome to the light side.
Yeah. Actually, I in futures I used Motivave, in crypto I used MMT, but in Motivave many times during the cluster chart candles, it does not print all the levels bid and ask traded. Instead, it will leave the blank area and stuff like that. That really happened 2-3 times this week, so I'm not using it anymore. Back to Atas and the X platform. I'm gonna obviously connect my platforms there, trading in the same platform and analyzing at the one place.
That's nice. Yeah, I'm actually completely, on Atas X. I do everything. I do crypto, I do futures, I do like pretty much everything on Atas X now.
So I think you will. What?
It's almost 10 a.m.
So, okay, so we are closing.
Look, it's Memorial Day. Markets are very slow. I don't expect much. I think day works the futures. They close at noon Eastern, and then they reopen at 6. So it's gonna be a weird day. I think it's gonna be very slow. So I would say don't expect any big moves in either crypto or bonds or gold. I think we'll have to wait till tomorrow for some big action. And of course, we're going to be live starting at 8 a.m. Eastern, which is, I don't know what time European that is, but 8 a.m. Eastern, that's most important. So pre-market New York.
Did we lose Boris, or is it me?
No, he's happy.
Ah.
What? You guys didn't hear me?
No, all good.
Okay, so see you guys tomorrow. We'll break down technical analysis, and later Jonathan and Anastasia. The entire week is filled with a lot of educational content.
Tomorrow is your special content, isn't it? Spotify.
Yeah.
Was that Ayush's? I keep confusing these two.
I think he will be there. Jonathan will not allow Tradeify when I'm explaining. He's explaining something. So yeah.
Well, either way, I love both Spotify and Ayush, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Thank you. and I'll teach you how to trade on a low time frame. Make sure to join me.
I will. Of course, I will join you for that.
Thank you. So yeah, that's all from our side, guys. Had a really great stream. Anastasia is back, and we'll have gold analysis every single day. Make sure to join tomorrow's stream, and see you guys tomorrow with same energy. Bye bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Tima.
All right. Bye.